Welcome to On Point Live. Best show on sports around anywhere. It's a couple of great stars on our show. Our big star here, actually there's two of them, from the Los Angeles Rams, a guy known as a legendary Super Bowl 14 quarterback. War number 15, we're talking about the one and only Vince Ferragamo is with us again today. Hall of Famer, four-time NFC Offensive Lineman of the Year, number 78, the Energizer Bunny, Mr. Jackie Slater. Welcome, gentlemen, to your show.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Nice introduction.
You finally got that introduction right.
It's good to see you in person.
We
heard your voice.
We missed you.
Thank you.
Of course
I'm back
we
here
missed
with you.
you.
It's good. We got a lot to talk about today. There's a great list of quarterbacks that we want to tell you about that was voted on by people in the NFL, and I think it's Bible. And we're going to be talking about that. How's your week going, guys? Vicky, Jackie, what have you been? Vinny, what have you been doing?
Well, it's been busy. It's been busy. Just the weekend and always baseball, all that's going on. You had the
Baseball?
All-Star. Well, my grandson's in baseball in his travel game, so he's got stuff, and my granddaughter's got stuff, and everybody's doing something.
Yeah,
and he's
and
very
your
busy
son's
all the
retired
time.
now. He had an
he's
NFL
retired
career,
now,
for God's sake.
and he's went back to Boston with the grandkids and all, and we missed him.
He was
terribly.
visiting you, wasn't he?
Yes, he was visiting us for 2 weeks.
How was that?
And he and his wife left and went to a conference for 4 days and left a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old with my wife and I.
That's
you
right.
did a good job on the 3-year-old.
So we're recovering.
Created havoc around the house.
We're in recovery mode.
You've been sleeping a lot.
I've been sleeping a lot.
In between the calls from Larry, getting calls from Larry.
Oh
every
yeah,
weekend,
Larry calls to keep
yeah.
Any
me
You want
pictures?
to hear Larry?
Any Crayola pictures on the wall or something?
Oh no, no Crayola pictures, but lots of little handprints on the white walls and several different misplaced items out of my master bedroom drawers.
Misplaced, like your wallet?
Well, my wallet, I was able to get a hold of that, but there's things just moved around.
Give me a call. I'm doing a podcast. Take me.
Larry is calling here on
That's
the
Larry. He's always
Larry.
calling. He's always
Larry.
calling. We'll put Larry on hold.
Larry's a numbers guy.
Yeah,
That's our show. Join you again next week here, everybody. Stay with us. Okay, we got our website, onpointlive.net. Check that out. And follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube broadcast, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Instagram, follow us at on.point.live. Our sponsor, HarmonyCheese.com. Great cheese. We're going to be featuring some good cheese. I don't know if it's Jackie's favorite, but we'll find out for you. So go to HarmonyCheese.com and email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Onpoint@crntalk.com. Get that email in. We'll read them on the air. Find out what your thoughts are. Stay with us. It's On Point Live. Welcome back to On Point Live. Good to be working with these guys again. The one and only Vince Ferragamo, Hall of Famer Jackie Slater. And gentlemen, big news this week for not only you, but all of our listeners. We got a new flagship station in Los Angeles, 790 KABC, the very first talk station in Southern California, carrying your guys' show and your wisdom to the public out there. And we've got a great topic to start off with. We're going to analyze the top 10 quarterbacks of the NFL. And this is something I know that we had a little discussion with before the show started. This list was put together with coaches and experts from the teams.
Executives.
Scouting department,
Scouts.
all anonymous.
And
By the way,
wait a
let
second.
me make sure I say
And
that
they,
and clarify
and they
that.
had the opportunity
Here we go.
to vote for their own guys.
So this is a problem for Jackie and myself. If you're
It's a
on the
huge
Rams and you vote against your own guys, I got a problem with you. I may have to fire your ass
the
from
best,
the show.
the best
you know?
thing that could happen to you is for this to be anonymous. Because if you come out and you say to ownership that me as an executive, me as a coach, me as a scout, we have gotten together in the best interest of our club, and we don't think our guy that we have is the best.
Right.
Some heads need to roll
Yes.
right there.
You
I'm
don't
telling you
have
right
You don't
now.
have a problem with that?
Well, I originally thought that you had to vote for some other team member. You couldn't vote for your own team.
Yeah, but
Otherwise, you'd always want to
but you
vote for your
found
own
out
guys.
You found out you were wrong.
I was
with your
wrong.
original
Yeah, so
thought.
you have to be anonymous. But, it's quite interesting, the results
All
that
right.
came to be.
So there we go.
About quarterbacks, 10 quarterbacks. Now, everybody is pretty much in agreement
Jackie's
with number
not
one.
buying this, but
I'm going to tell you, the number one guy, he's been in the last 5 of 6 Super Bowls, quarterbacked. He's great on third down efficiency.
Okay.
He's a leader. He's a trooper.
we guess
He's
his
a
name?
competitor.
I'm not
He's a
knocking.
gladiator.
I'm not
He does
knocking
everything.
That. That's Patrick Mahomes.
That's
and
correct.
the people,
very
including
much.
Angie Reid and the scouts and the executives in Kansas City, voted for him number one.
Of course they did. He's the
Because
best.
their
And so
jobs,
did almost everybody
their
else.
jobs is dependent upon them being correct at that position.
You know how many first
And I'll
place
be willing
votes he
to
got,
bet
Jackie?
you, I'll be willing to
60%.
bet you that the Rams and their coaches and executives and scouts voted for Matthew Stafford
Hold on
as the
a
number
second.
one quarterback in the NFL.
No, he's down
Why
the
else
list.
would they go? Why else would they go to the trouble to re-sign him when he was trying to get out and get more money?
Well, let me give you my
You gotta
evaluation.
believe in the people that you have, and if you don't have any opportunity to be successful.
Okay, here's
Vince-
my list.
Vince Ferragamo,
Okay, number 1 was Patrick Mahomes. Number 2,
Oh, we're going to do you and your list?
I'm going to
Yeah,
do
this
my
is
list.
his list.
Because
He's
I like
not
my
paying
list
one
better
resident.
than their list.
We'll get to yours next. So here's your top
Okay,
10.
so I had Joey Burrow at second.
Joe
Joey
Burrow.
Burrow, over 70% completion. Despite having a poor offensive line and a poor running game, he was able to put up big numbers, had the most yards last year, over 4,900 yards, throwing yards. He is proficient. He's effective. He's precision. Okay, he just knows how to play the game. He is a true quarterback. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, 3 and 4. Okay, both one-man team shows, but they're very talented. They're very skilled. They're very great quarterbacks. Okay, number 5 would have to go to Justin Herbert. In the last 5 years, he's thrown more yardage than any quarterback in NFL history. Okay, he's averaged over 4,200 yards per
This
season.
comes to us from a former quarterback.
Now, this
here,
guy
Vince
is
Ferragamo.
smart. He's clever. He's talented. And now with Jim Harbaugh, watch out what he can be able to do. Then my next list, the second tier, would be Jaden Daniels at 6, Matthew Stafford at 7. Okay, Jalen Hurts at 8, Jared Goff at 9, and then Aaron Rodgers at 10.
No Baker Mayfield, huh?
No, not in that
Aaron
list.
Rodgers. You guys were panning him down here recently. I'm with you on Aaron Rodgers. Jackie Slater, your top 10 list.
Listening to Vince Ferragamo here, the starting quarterback for Super Bowl 14.
That's correct, number
And I dare
15.
say one of the big reasons why the Rams went to their first Super Bowl. And I so appreciate his opinion on that position because I know how much he paid attention to detail when he was a player. But I'm going to have to disagree with him just a little bit.
Okay.
With the group of guys that I got, and the reason why is based on the statements that I made a minute ago. Yeah, they got to be productive, but every organization are staking the individual claim that they have the best of all in order to be successful in this particular season. That's the best quarterback, that's the best wide receivers, that's the best tackles, that's the best guards, that's the best of everything. And I think that any guy who represents an organization as a scout, executive, or a coach who doesn't say, I got the best, he needs to be fired. And he needs to be removed from the building immediately. Now, in my opinion here, I think Matthew Stafford should be a top on that list because all the people here in Los Angeles are expecting big things from the Rams. The Rams did not make a move off of Matthew Stafford. They feel like he is the best quarterback that they could possibly have this season to go and win a Super Bowl.
Over Patrick Mahomes.
Over Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Why
Has
not?
he been in 5 of the
Why
last
not?
6 Super
I don't
Bowls?
care how
Jackie?
many Super Bowls he's been in. This
Come
is a
on.
new season.
wound
They
up.
just gave
Jackie.
they just gave Matthew Stafford $40+ million. He didn't have to work that hard to get it.
It's his list.
They feel like they got they feel like they signed the left tackle they
Okay.
need. They brought in the backup. They got everything that they feel like they need. They replaced Aaron
Gotcha.
Donald somewhat with the
Can
pass
you
rusher
tell he's
that they
been
got
with
on
the
the
team
end.
for 20 years? Obviously.
You tell
That's
me
number
why, if I'm an executive or if I'm a scout with the Rams, why I wouldn't feel like I
This
have
is
the
getting
best.
good. Okay, so
You
with
got to
Wait,
beat him.
let me ask
You
you a
got to
question.
play him.
If
He's got to
Matthew
beat him.
Stafford was still playing in Detroit, would
and
you
the
say
people
he's the
in
best?
Kansas City, the people in Kansas City got to beat the Rams if they play him.
Wait, Jackie, if
Vince
he was
has a
still in
question.
Detroit, would you still say he's the best?
If he was still in, if he was still in Detroit, maybe Detroit should step up and say that he's the best. if Jared Goff was still with the Rams,
he
and
would
they
be
were
the
playing,
best.
yes, he would have been.
Not
They
my estimation.
they would have been hypocritical if they hadn't said it with all the draft picks that they
Okay.
put into this guy.
Let me
Yeah,
just say
they
one
gave
thing.
a lot up
Okay,
for
hold
him.
on a second. For those of you new listeners at 790 KBC, when you hear this is Jackie Slater's
my
desk
goodness.
that he
I'm
uses
sorry
to
I
get his
stopped
point.
that.
That's okay.
He just
It's good
gets
to get it out.
excited.
We're
He
just
just
telling-
gets
So let me
excited.
say this. So your list is
emotional.
fine. It's your opinion.
Yeah.
So you got Matthew Stafford as number 1. Finish your list off of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then after Matthew Stafford, then I'll put Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
And then I'll put Josh Allen. and then I'll put Lamar Jackson, and then Joe Burrow. Don't tell me what a guy has done in the past and what what his arm allows him to do. I mean, there are a lot. Every year is a different year. Every year is a different year. We found that out. The next year that we went to Super Bowl 14 with a 9-7 record, we weren't anywhere near the team that we were the previous year.
It happens. It happens. All the time. Injury, everything.
Any executive, coach, or scout that's being paid in the National Football League that's worth his salty sweat, if he can acknowledge people being special, but he better be willing to convince anybody that they have the best.
I agree with you.
Because if he doesn't belong in his job.
Even if it's an anonymous list, right? Exactly.
Did you rate Jalen Hurts anywhere on that list?
He's coming in at 6, I think.
He's number 6.
6.
Okay, so you got your top 5.
Eagles.
Number 6 is you said Jalen Hurts is number 6.
Yeah.
Okay, and then finish it off your list.
Jalen Hurts, and then Justin Herbert, 7. Yeah. Jared Goff, I got after that, and that was where I stopped.
All right, so you didn't do Baker Mayfield.
No. Baker Mayfield will be right in there.
Jalen Hurts.
Baker Mayfield will be in the top 10.
So Jalen Hurts is sort of low. I mean, this guy won Super Bowls.
I got him at 6. Yeah,
I know. So you had him lower, didn't you?
I had him at 8.
Yeah,
at Jalen Hurts, but he's in the top tier. Okay,
yeah,
I mean, but
tier.
Let me tell you something. Coaching means so much for quarterbacks, and if you look at the coaches that have been with these quarterbacks over time, that'll tell the story. And you see Andy Reid, you see Patrick Mahomes.
Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
You see
Jared Goff and you see Sean McVay.
Right. Exactly.
And Ben Johnson now. Now what's going to happen?
You see Matthew Stafford and you see Sean McVay.
So that brings up the second point.
He got off of Jared Goff to get Matthew Stafford, and look what happened.
Yeah.
He's gone to the Super Bowl.
Okay, and Detroit Lions have lost their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets, and Ben Johnson goes to the Bears. Okay, what's that going to do to Jared Goff this year? It's going to have an effect.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, because, he's been affected so much because of the head coach.
Vince,
but, that offensive skill level needs to really be
Can I
impressed.
ask you a question?
Yes.
The head coach.
Yes.
And any of his scouts
Campbell.
and personnel in Detroit, do you think that they would go on record as saying we don't have the best quarterback to give us a chance to win the Super Bowl at this point, with Jared Goff being that guy?
They believe in what they have.
Absolutely.
They have to believe.
All right, we'll continue this discussion. It's a hot one going on. On Point Live, Jackie Slater, Vince Ferragamo. Don't forget to check our YouTube broadcast, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Subscribe to it. Instagram, check us out, on.point.live. Our website, onpointlive.net. HarmonyCheese.com will be with us later, talking about some good cheese for you. And email us, onpoint@crntalk.com. That's onpoint@crntalk.com. Check out our show at crntalk.com, Sports Byline Radio Network, and 790 KBC. We'll be back. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, along with the stars of our show, the one and only Vince Ferragamo, the one and only Jackie Slater. We're kind of analyzing quarterbacks, teams in the NFL. Well, you guys mentioned some great quarterbacks there. Honorable mentions on our list that was voted on anonymously by coaches and various people from around the league. C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott. Aaron Rodgers was on your list.
Yes.
Tua Tagovailoa we got. How about Michael Penix? Can he lead the Falcons? Jackie, we'll start with you.
Well, that remains to be seen. Kirk Cousins' presence probably was a bit of a hindrance a year ago. I think that this was a kid that you really wanted to put in the ball game and let him start playing right away, particularly if you have an offensive coordinator that's going to be able to shape his rough edges, because he was a youngster. But I think that the guy showed me enough when he was in college to tell me that he has the mentality to be able to learn, to be able to he has the physicality to be able to deliver the ball all over the field. I thought Vince, he threw a beautiful deep pass, especially towards the sidelines, which I think is critical, and he was accurate on all of his underneath patterns. So I think it's just a matter of getting he and guys like J.J. McCarthy at Minnesota off the bench and in the ball game, so we can see the development of these young stars.
Vince Ferragamo, your thoughts?
Yeah, he will be called upon this year to lead the role at starting quarterback because Kirk Cousins not there anymore. So I think a lot of it will depend on the schemes that they put in place, take advantage of his skill level. He's a left-handed quarterback. He can throw the ball. but they're going to have to put plays in to generate production on offense, not rely on their defense as much, to be more progressive on the offensive side. And I think, he's got a lot of talent. A lot has to be wait to be seen what's going to happen this year. But I think a lot of it's going to depend on the coaching staff and how they integrate his scheme and his style of offense into their system.
So the teams have to gel. As you mentioned, Jackie, a little earlier, one season with a big winning season, maybe not the next season, depending on how everybody starts to gel. Detroit losing some coaches or whatever. So let me ask you guys the next big question. Obviously, who can take down the Eagles? Who do we think? Start Jackie Slater with you.
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, who can take down the Eagles?
Kansas City Chiefs?
One of the main reasons why I'm in love with the Philadelphia Eagles and what Howie has done with that team is because he's built it from the ground up. He's built it with the big guys on both sides of the ball. And their offensive line, even though they lost Mekhi Becton to come on out here and play with the Chargers, they've got a big physical offensive line, and they got a really solid quarterback. So they're going to be difficult to deal with. But the teams, in my opinion, that has the best shot at dethroning them in the NFC, you got to look at teams like right there in their own conference. You got to look at Washington. You got to look at the Skins with that young quarterback they have. The Rams, obviously. I don't think Sean McVay is going to suck the hand tit to anyone. And you know what? Vince disagrees with me on this, but I think Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota and what he does with J.J. McCarthy is going to be critical and could prove an opportunity to dethrone Philadelphia. And then, of course, Dallas, Seattle, I'm not ruling them out. But, there's some good teams in the NFC that are capable of dethroning this guy. And just like we found out when we went to the Super Bowl '97 record, there's no guarantee that all the things are going to click for you next year the way they did the previous year. There's no guarantee.
Vince, your thoughts. Who's going to take down the Eagles on your list?
Good question, Michael, because a lot of teams are on the rise right now. The Chicago Bears are making a resurgence, okay? They've got Ben Johnson at the helm now. I think the Cowboys the dissension is disappearing. The coaches are now more together. They've got Brian Schottenheimer. They've got Clayton Adams, Matt Eberflus. They're all on the same page. And I think bring that team together with Dak Prescott, they could be a threat. But the Washington Commanders are the team to beat, really, in that, with Jaden Daniels in that team. They have the experience now. They made a run last year.
Made a nice
short
run.
A little bit with their rookie quarterback. Now he's going to be a sophomore quarterback this year. They have a really good chance. There's other teams that are coming on. The 49ers are invested 5 of their first draft picks on defense.
And they got the defensive coordinator back from a couple of years ago in Super Saleh.
Good point.
Do. Robert Saleh is back, and I think defensively is what they missed, and I think they're going to regain that, and they may be a different team. The Rams will be good in the West. Seattle, we don't know what's going to happen. Cooper Kupp could be a big influence on that team. And then you got other teams. Detroit, I don't think Detroit will be as strong as most people think this year. Because they've lost their defensive coordinator.
All right, let's look at some teams here as we go through the league a little bit, why they are contenders. Kansas City Chiefs, obviously you guys have mentioned Patrick Mahomes, Coach Andy Reid. They got Travis Kelce, DeAndre Hopkins. Anything else there? I mean, this is a strong still unit, Vince.
Yeah, the West is going to be tough. I think the Chargers are much improved too, Michael. I mean, they've invested a lot in their offensive line. Jackie and I both agree that's the foundation.
Big Joe Alt, 6'8" mammoth. You're going to be in this
from Philadelphia, year, right?
Yeah. No. Joe Alt plays with the Chargers.
Right. Yeah, and then they got their Philadelphia.
And then he's going to be
right guard.
He's going to be paired with Mekhi Becton at right guard. That's going to be an average of about 6'7.5" playing your right guard and right tackle.
They're going to run to the right side a lot this year.
They can feature those guys real good. They both can be dominant.
Can you imagine players. A great running attack with Justin Herbert as your quarterback?
Oh.
The sky's the limit.
They're going to run the football.
Well,
there's no doubt.
And that play action pass is going to be exceptional.
Absolutely.
I mean, they will institute that this year, and they're going to be tough.
Baltimore Ravens.
The Raiders will be good.
Okay, Baltimore Ravens. Jackie, 2 words, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. I mean, that says it all. This guy
and the coach.
This guy could have been a 3-time MVP in the National Football League were it not for the kid up there at Buffalo. I mean, he is special. Everybody knows he's special. And Vince pointed out to me, I can't think of the new offensive coordinator's name now, but he had him spraying the football all over the field. He was more efficient with his underneath pass. And And then when protection broke down, he was able to get out and make things happen. In fact, I think some of the success he had to do with the fact that people were trying to get into coverage and they're trying to watch him at the same time. You can't do both. You got to be good at one or the other and react to the other one. And reacting to him busting out of that pocket is a major, major point when you play Baltimore.
All right, you both had Josh Allen on your quarterback list. How about the Buffalo Bills? They're saying they may have the most favorable schedule, according to ESPN, the easiest in the AFC.
Well, the Bills look
What
good.
is that? Does that
they're in
prove
the
something
AFC
there?
East. They're in the AFC East, and I still think they're the team to beat in the AFC East.
I agree with that.
They're just too strong, and the other teams are making a rebound. The Patriots are trying to come back. Obviously, Jackie, they'll be a little bit improved this year too. So we're going to see teams that are still struggle along, but it's a long season, and that's the thing with Lamar Jackson. If he can cross that final hurdle in that race.
Yes.
And run that distance.
Not get nicked up.
Right. And I think that's what their coaching staff is going to impart on him. And I think they're going to prepare him for the long run.
They want
and
the
not
ball,
just the quick run.
The quicker the ball gets out of his hands, the more likely it is that he'll be around toward the end of the season when it really matters.
Yeah.
All right, Jackie, Detroit Lions. You got Jared Goff. They're second in passing yards last year in the NFL. You got Jamar Gibbs, fifth in rushing. What do you think? They've lost some coaching.
Well, they
What's
lost some
gonna happen?
coaching, and like Vince was just pointing out, you lose an offensive coordinator. He went to Chicago, and you lose the defensive coordinator. That's you got a really good head coach, and hopefully he replaced those guys with people who were there and who familiar with the schemes, and then perhaps have some things that they can bring to the table themselves. But it's not going to be easy. I mean, they're going to have their work cut out for them in Detroit. There's no doubt about that.
And losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, both head coaches.
Both of them
now.
are head coaches, so it says a lot about the quality of the coaching that they were getting on both sides of the ball.
And when they replace from within, too, I think they try to keep things kind of standardized and consistent.
Yeah.
But it's still not the same sequence of play calling that these bright minds have when they do create offensive game plans.
Because the good play callers, Vince, the good play callers are thinking 2 or 3 plays down the road
always
when they make a play
now,
call.
surprising to me from last year, both of you mentioned the San Francisco 49ers could be contenders. They're on our flagship 790 KABC. They're saying there's a bounce back expected. Why?
Well, Robert Saleh, that we talked about their defense. They've got Michael Williams. He's an edge rusher from Georgia, number 1 draft pick.
They had
Nick Bosa on the other side.
Their first 4 picks were defensive ball players.
First 5.
A lot of injuries last year, Jackie, on that team. Brock Purdy,
replaced.
Christian McCaffrey. The list goes on and on and on. So you think that's going to be pretty good? Turnover questions last year, you think that's going to be recovered this year?
Well, when you have good defense.
They've got really good defense. And, one of the things that Vince and I know for sure is that defense travels and defense wins championships. I mean, I'm an offensive player, have been one all of my life. But if you got a tough, stingy defense that plays situational football, in other words, it
breeds confidence for the offense.
They play you on 1st and 10. They want to limit you. They play you on 3rd and long. They're shutting you down on short yards and goal line situations. Every conceivable situation, they're playing excellent football with great players that they picked out to play situational football. These teams are very difficult to beat because they're being coached situationally, and it's just hard to beat a guy like that.
It doesn't force you to do uncharacteristic things on offense. You can just play your game because you have a defense backing you up.
Right.
So it gives a lot more confidence to the offense.
It does.
And I think that's something that they missed last year.
It does. I agree with that.
Cincinnati Bengals. We mentioned Joe Burrow, but Jamar Chase is there. T. Higgins, an improved defense. Al Golden is there helping him out a little bit. Your thoughts on
why would anyone in Cincinnati, a coach, a scout, an executive, not conclude that they have the best quarterback in all of pro football? Not to mention the fact that they got 2 of the highest paid and best receivers in the game.
Yeah.
Why would they? The other thing you mentioned. If anybody in Cincinnati were to admit that Kansas City's quarterback is better than what they've got in Cincinnati, they need to be fired immediately.
It's the competition you play too,
Hopefully
Jackie.
they didn't put the wrong answers on that list of quarterbacks. All right, we got a few more to go through here just because this is kind of fun getting your guys' thoughts on these teams as we continue on Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. Want to remind you, please email us any questions you may have. Just go to our website, go to onpoint@crntalk.com, onpoint@crntalk.com, harmonycheese.com, our sponsor. We're going to talk about Harmony Cheese in our next segment. Subscribe to our great YouTube channel, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie, and check out our website, onpointlive.net. That's onpointlive.net. Instagram, on.point.live. All right, we'll take a break here all across our network here. It is On Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. We'll be right back. We're back with On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn along with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. All right, we talked about quarterbacks. Vince had his day. Let's talk about offensive linemen here. Let's talk about talk about some top 10 tackles.
It's about time.
We'll start off with the Hall of Famer himself, Jackie Slater, the Energizer Bunny. What you got for us?
Well, you know, it amazes me
What is
that
that?
during the break,
Yeah.
Vince brought another list out talking about let's talk about these quarterbacks. What in the world? Can we please get a couple of minutes to talk about the big guys?
Yeah, protect him. He still
Listen,
wants more time.
First of all,
What
they
can I
got
tell
a
you?
They're gonna have a new award
They got a
this
new
year.
award.
Okay.
They got a new
Explain
award.
that.
What's the new award?
The Protector of the Year.
All right.
And that guy is going to be the guy probably that gives up the fewest number of sacks. And hopefully they look at his run production and all of that, because the truth of the matter is when you start rating offensive tackles, it's really interesting. I look at, for example, this. Tristan Wirth at Tampa, he makes $28 million a year. Penei Sewell at Philly, $20 million a year. Lane Johnson, Philly. Penei Sewell's at Detroit. And then Lane Johnson, Philly, 25. Trent Williams, 20, San Francisco. Milauta, Philadelphia, 20. That's a lot of money played to a lot of really good players. And the list goes on. Laramie Tunsil, Joe, all these, Rob Havenstein, all these guys.
Those guys are good.
All these guys are making a lot of good money. But listen, this is the way I choose to value or devalue an offensive tackle. First of all, who is he playing against? Who is he competing against? If he is the type of guy that's good, that's very good at what he does, then he is not going to draw the best pass rusher on anybody's team. If he's a guy that's very good run and productive as a run blocker, then he's going to draw the best run defender on the team who may be playing out of position. So when you start evaluating these guys, you got to look at the whole picture of an offensive lineman. It's not just pass blocking. It's not just who gave up the fewest number of sacks. In the National Football League now, and we're seeing it with Philadelphia, you have got to be able to run the football. You got to be able to move people on third and short, and you got to be able to pass block on third and long. So for me, when I evaluate an offensive lineman, I'm looking at the guys not just because of the money that they're making. I'm looking at the guys that are productive situationally and who are drawing consistently quality competition. Don't assume that everybody that's rushing the pass events is the same guy that the next team has. Everybody's trying to get that special guy, but everybody doesn't have a Myles Garrett. There's only one Myles Garrett that you have to deal with in the National Football League right now.
Is there something that happens to an offensive lineman that catches your eye real quick and you could say, wow, when you look at this guy, this guy's good?
Yeah. Well, for me, I look at him on third and long. I want to see what his pass set looks like, how he's setting on a guy, where he is relative to the guy in space, how long before he reaches out and touches him. Does he have the range to be able to touch him sooner than anticipated?
You ever say something like, Jack, wow, I've never seen that. Wow, did you see that move?
No. I can't say that I said I've never seen that, but I have said, wow, he did that beautifully.
Okay.
Wow, that's great.
Okay, now that
wow,
right there.
he's being coached how to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and there's certain things that you have to consistently do technically, or otherwise you're going to get beat. And the technique is not that far away now than when it was when I played. For an offensive tackle, you got to back up and you got to stop the momentum of a big physical guy with all kinds of moves and quickness. And you have to do it systematically, pretty much the same way. Otherwise, you're going to get beat one way or the other.
Mike, the fundamentals are the same. Either if you play offensive tackle or you play quarterback. Nothing's changed over the span of time
What do you
in
mean?
football. Well, fundamentally, I mean, in the mechanics of the job.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, your stance, your drop, your mechanics. How do you throw the football? You
Right.
know,
where you are on a 3-step drop, where you are on a 5-step drop.
Is your timing
where
correct?
you are on a 7-step drop.
Same thing with
those
the
are
lineman.
3 different quarterbacks' depths. And if you take the same depth on your pass set for all 3 of those, then you're going to get your quarterback is going to get mashed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He's going to get splattered.
Well, we were talking flag football. We had a little clinic this last weekend, and we were explaining to quarterbacks. It says it's very important that if you're a short drop, you're at the right position. If you're a medium drop, you have to be at the right space, right area in the pocket, so everybody knows how to protect you
Everybody
and
needs
where
to know
you're
exactly
at.
where you are.
So you need to be right where you're supposed to be. Then if something breaks down, then you ad lib and then you make a move.
Right.
But it's very fundamental, and nothing's changed.
Creating a pocket this year in 2025 is the same as creating a pocket 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Except there's a little more money being paid this year.
You
we have to get into the money thing?
You got that part right.
I have
a
a
little
problem.
more for it right now.
Maybe
So-
we have a new segment.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I mean,
Who's worth the money?
what really ticks you off? Okay, when these
Yeah.
young guys coming in, what really ticked me off this year in the draft?
What?
Okay, the 2nd-round draft pick for Houston. Okay, Nick Cesario. Okay, is the general manager there. He made a guaranteed contract to his wide receiver. Okay, he's a 2nd-rounder. Now, every 30 of the 32 second-round picks are all holding out because they want a guaranteed contract. Look, I think you
Unbelievable.
have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You know, Casario knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he
okay,
knows what
there,
he's doing. He was at the Patriots
Yeah,
for
he was at the
years,
Patriots.
and he knows what he's doing, and he knows who he's dealing with. And Vince,
Go prove yourself.
don't forget, Vince, that young man that just signed that guaranteed contract,
Yeah.
he is coming from 2 or 3 years of college football where he was making guaranteed nil money. Name, image, and
wasn't
likeness.
like that
His
years
money
ago,
is,
I know that.
His money is going to be guaranteed. He's used to that.
Yeah.
So if he's a guy that you're going to invest a second-round pick in and he's that good, then you better make him happy. And making him happy means guaranteeing his money. And is guaranteeing his money going to hurt that organization in any way, shape, form, or fashion? Absolutely not. Because that team is going to get their monies from television revenues and wherever they get their money from systematically, regardless of was that guy in the lineup or not. So they can afford to pay him. If I was a 2nd-round draft choice, I would hold out until they gave me a guaranteed contract.
But you
as well.
can't ask the teams for blind faith. So in other words, show me what you can do, and I'll make it worth your while.
Vince,
So,
let me ask
you
you
know
this
what?
question.
Okay,
Let me ask
go
you this
ahead.
question. Why is it that you can be at a college or a university and they can guarantee you some of these kids upwards of $2 or $3 million to play football for them a year when they are only looking at a budget of possibly $20 million annually for these colleges? But you can get to the National Football League where these NFL teams are making all of this money way and above $20 million a year, and you can't, and you're supposed to be shy about asking for a guaranteed contract? Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean,
I think I think the next collective bargaining agreement we see, we're going to see 100% guaranteed quarterback for
Guaranteed.
all NFL players.
I don't
Wow. Really? What
Yeah,
about
I
a
don't
guy
know.
that's
100% guaranteed, and they're gonna increase the salary cap so they can allow for bringing in more comparable talent. Right now, if you have a $5 million a year tackle and you lose him because you spin up to the salary cap, you can't go and get another $5 million tackle.
There you
got to
go.
get a $300,000 tackle. But they're going to fix it, in my opinion, over the long haul. We're going to be able to spend the same amount of money because there's no deficit for them
Insurance
to do
companies
that.
are going to have to guarantee those contracts. Can't wait to see those insurance premiums.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to need to do. So you don't like the top 10 tackle list then, is that correct?
Well, these guys are all good tackles.
All right.
And they've convinced their teams playing situational football that this is the best position to pay this guy because he's gonna help us win.
Okay.
And that's the bottom line. There's a lot of good offensive linemen, a lot of good technically sound players that if they don't play well, their team is going to be hampered. They won't have the same
The
success.
offensive lineman list was brought to you by our good friends at Harmony Cheese. And I want to tell you, they're featured this week on their website at harmonycheese.com. Something special that you kind of like the taste of, Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo, the bourbon cheddar. This is the bourbon cheddar. It's crafted with exceptional care, and
I
it's
did like it,
got
but
the spirit of Lucky Guy's distillery bourbon in it. You open the package, you catch that aroma. It's got sweet counterparts. Yeah, maybe pair it with fig jam, apple slices, pear slices,
Yeah.
hearty breads and crackers, crusty baguette, water
All those
crackers,
foods it goes with.
Crackers.
nutty whole. You like
See,
the
Vince-
crackers, don't you?
See, Vince always want to shred his cheese. Put it on some pasta.
He's a
Sprinkle
shredder.
it on some pasta or something.
He
What's
does.
wrong with having a vanilla wafer?
You can
and
do
some
that.
cheese?
You
Got
can
it.
do that. Goes great with wine as well.
Oh,
It
my
goes good
goodness.
with great
Water
drinks.
crackers.
Whatever you like.
With my
Come on.
vanilla
Oh,
wafers.
gotta have
A nutty
cheese.
whole grain bread with some of that cheese on there.
Yes, yeah.
Meats, and maybe you put some meats and some cured delights
Absolutely.
on there. Prosciutto,
Yeah,
and
right.
Yeah.
salami.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah,
Now,
right.
You
here's
don't
your,
always have to put it on top of some pasta and red sauce.
Here's your
tomato
beverage.
sauce. That's what
Jackie
Vince
likes the charcuterie board, okay?
does
He
like
does
it.
like that.
and he likes that board with the cheese on it.
Yeah.
And so it's bourbon cheddar, a taste of Wisconsin craftsmanship. You
That's a
can
good
pair it
one.
with beer, maybe a
I
stout
told
or
you.
an amber ale,
Yeah.
wine with a Riesling or a Pinot Noir, or your favorite, Jackie, a little chaser of some Lucky Guys distillery bourbon. Shoot that down right after this bourbon cheddar. You got yourself a game day ready to happen.
That is.
You
That-
can.
That
You
sounds
can do
good.
it. You can do it even with sweet wine as
Don't we
well.
have some in there in the
Bourbon cheese
refrigerator?
with sweet
Corey,
wine.
do we have any?
In the refrigerator.
What did you do? Did you eat it all?
We
Look
lost
at him.
it.
He's gained
That's
weight.
all
I
gone.
think he's eating all the cheese.
It's not going to be
Harmony
around long,
I
Jackie.
think he's eating all the cheese.
.com. Can we put the Harmony Cheese logo up there? Do we have it? HarmonyCheese.com.
Corey, I can't believe you.
Order it. It's good.
I
There
can't
it is.
believe you didn't save us some of that cheese, Corey.
HarmonyCheese.com. That's where to go.
Where
Right there.
do you go?
Corey,
HarmonyCheese.com. Right on your website.
Sponsor.
Order it right now.
I'm
Hey,
talking-
you know, we didn't talk
what about
about
Corey?
any QBs.
What about? Look at Corey's face. He's
Oh,
guilty.
he has some.
He's guilty.
Yeah, he's
Corey,
innocent.
Our
he says.
producer, Corey Moreno, everybody.
You guys ate it all. I didn't eat it all. You had
Yeah.
had all that blueberry. You got
Right.
to take it home. Vince even gave you his blueberry.
That's right. He's claiming for more.
Yeah,
I will admit I did it. I did
There's
it.
never enough.
Leave Corey alone. All
Hey,
right.
how about the QBs? Let's talk about the college quarterbacks a little bit
Oh, my
coming out
goodness.
next year.
You
Okay,
just don't- you just
What do you
don't-
like?
2
Go-
years. Okay, 2 years. We got Arch
2 minutes
Manning.
on
Okay,
this. Come
Arch
on.
Can we
Manning.
please?
You're not going to
He's
get
going to
to
be the number
Wimbledon.
one guy.
You won't
But
get
for
to
next
Wimbledon.
year, okay, you have two guys who I think are pretty darn good.
Who are they, Vince?
Okay, the Clemson quarterback, Cade Klubnik. Okay, Cade
Klubnik.
looks good. I mean, he's got all the skills.
Where'd you
He only
see him?
6 interceptions last year. Okay, Jackie, 3,600 yards. All right, forget the stats. You got to look at these guys, like Jackie says. Look at their mechanics. Look at the way they play. How do they relate to the players on their team? He's very good. Also, you got the Penn State quarterback too, who I like. That's Drew Aller. So-
Corey, is there
Okay,
any
so wait,
particular,
what's
is there any
Penn State's-
particular reason why he comes back talking about quarterbacks? Didn't you cut that segment out?
Wait, so who's the quarterback for Clemson?
Cade.
Cade.
Klubnik.
Yes.
Now,
Can
you
we
can't
please-
make up a name like that.
Can we,
Claim-
but can we
You
please
can't
talk
forget
about the quarterbacks?
All right,
that's
well,
coming out next
we'll
year?
watch. They'll have great years. Okay, and
Can we
then
talk
Drew
about
Aller,
him next
okay?
year, please?
Clay
You know,
Klubnik.
Drew Aller's going to miss that Tyler Warren. You know,
Oh,
Tyler
Vinny.
Warren went to the Colts.
Vinny knows he gets.
$5 million a year.
You know
for
what?
4
If
years.
I
Okay,
was a
this
parent,
kid can play
if I was a
everything.
parent and I had a kid playing quarterback, I would find Vince Ferragamo. Listen,
man, let's look at
everything
QBs.
about a quarterback,
We were going
anything that you can think about a quarterback that he needs to do or doesn't need to do, this guy knows.
All right, we were going to talk about the All-Star game, but nobody seems to care about the All-Star game in baseball, football, basketball. The only good one is hockey, where they take on an international team. That's sort of a good deal. But does anybody like the All-Star game?
Well, I mean,
Jackie?
they like the home run derby. I mean,
Yeah, home run
that's always fun to watch.
I'm
but
not a big-
you know, the All Stars. It's like, what's
I'm
at
not a
stake?
big- yeah.
What am I looking at?
I'm
here?
not a
I mean,
big-
these are all great players.
So
they
quarterbacks
just-
don't like the All-Star game.
Well, I mean, I'm
why-
not
to
big.
me-
I just want to go watch a baseball game.
Listen,
you know,
why
where
would you-
it
help me to
depends on who's
understand.
going to win.
30
really.
seconds, Jackie. 30 seconds.
Help me
Go.
understand.
Yeah.
Why would you assemble the best players in the world at any particular sport and expect fans to come and see them, but they don't see them compete against each
They
other?
have relay races in football.
What,
They do the relay race.
They play flag football.
That's
Come on.
ridiculous.
They used to at
That's
least
absolutely
They used to
ridiculous.
go to Hawaii. Now
Let's
they're
go-
stuck sweating in
We used
Florida.
I went to a Pro Bowl and left there with my cast, with my wrist in a cast,
Yeah, that's why
trying
they
to
don't play
block
anymore.
Mark Gastineau and them guys over there.
That's because
And that was when that was when the seats
you're the
were
Energizer
packed.
Bunny.
The seats were
That's right.
packed
A lot
with
of people
people.
went to those
Hall of
games.
Famer
The
Jackie
people
Slater.
came to watch the game.
They're not going to stop. So I'll
And if
just
you
tell
won, you won $5
You're
grand.
listening to On Point Live. We're here every week at this time. Check out our website, onpointlive.net. Stay with us, brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com. We'll wrap things up right after this. Welcome back to On Point Live. Michael Horn, Jackie Slater, Vince Ferragamo. Jackie, Vince, happy birthday to a fellow teammate, Rosie Greer, huh?
Rosie Greer.
Happy birthday, Rosie.
93 years old, Rosie Greer.
The best.
Part of the
Great
fearsome foursome that featured Deacon Jones, Marilyn Olsen, Lamar Lundy, and, of course, Big Rosie Greer. And don't forget, Rosie Greer is the guy who apprehended Seyhan when he shot President.
That's very true.
Remember
Robert
when he
F.
shot
Kennedy.
Robert F. Kennedy.
Robert F.
Exactly.
Kennedy. Remember that?
Rosie
Yes, boy.
Greer was there. You're
Rosie
absolutely
Greer
right.
is a guy. He does a lot. He's always been a philanthropist. Always been just a great guy in the
All right,
community.
time now for quarterback's choice of a topic. We got Vince Ferragamo here to talk about Wimbledon.
One of the great finals we saw in 2025. You know, it was a rematch of the French Open. All right, Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner. All right, the Italian versus the Spaniard. And I'm telling you, what a match this was.
It was.
It was so close. Every game. Finally, the set was won by Yannick Sinner. And you know what the secrets of, I think, what his success was?
What?
His hard work and dedication, Jackie.
Everybody's
After that,
hard
he's
work
lost
and
five finals to Alcaraz.
Yes.
He came back to win this, and he worked so hard, and he was determined to do what he did. He had a small group there. The entire audience was cheering for Alcaraz.
Right.
He beat him with his serve, especially his second serve. His second serve was right at the body of Alcaraz. He had nothing but to defend the ball, and he was always on the offensive. And that's what Alcaraz loves to do with the drop shot. Sinner could get to it. I mean, he got to almost every ball, but some of them were remarkable. The one rally I saw in the first set was unbelievable. How Alcaraz got to that one ball off.
You're a big tennis fan. Who
Oh
knew?
my gosh, it was.
Who knew?
And then between the legs by Sinner in the third set. Oh, come on.
You ready to talk?
My
ready to
grandson's
talk
playing
Harmony
tennis. I'm
Bourbon
getting
cheese
into it.
right now. Come on.
We're talking about Harmony Bourbon cheese.
Yeah, this is good.
But you know what? That Harmony Bourbon cheese is. I can't say enough about it.
All right.
Can't say enough about it.
You like the blueberry maple too. That's almost like a
blueberry
pancake.
Maple,
His
the blueberry
favorite
maple, the
is blueberry
abrigelli. I mean, just my
That's
goodness.
our show, everybody. Brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com. Don't forget to email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Check out our website, On Point Live. Subscribe to our On Point Live YouTube channel with Vince and Jackie. It's just a great show. So join us and be with us here every week. Go to onpoint@crntalk.com. All right, we got some final thoughts here from our gentlemen. What do we always say here? When we get through with our show, one thing that we always like to say.
What do we say, Jackie? Stay on point.